Welcome to Revitalize and Replant with Mark Clifton, where we equip pastors to take their churches from declining to thriving by pointing them to a new future and a new hope. Join us weekly for encouragement and practical advice in your pastoring journey.
We are back with another exciting, brilliant, insightful session. I've changed my word from episode to session.
Did you? Okay, I'm having a session.
I'm having a session
Okay.
with Revitalize and Replant with Mark Clifton and Mark Hallock.
Hey, guys.
I'm Dan Hurst. There's Kyle Bierman at the other end of the table running the controls. Last time we were together, we talked about an article that Thom Rainer wrote about...
Rainer.
But did I say Rainier?
It's Mount Rainier.
It is Rainier.
It's
Why?
Tom
I don't know
Rainier.
what I
Spelled
was
the same
thinking.
way?
Is it spelled the same way?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
I know.
keep going.
No, that's okay.
I'm glad you corrected me.
Well,
because
because he'd get real mad at
well,
you.
and he should.
He has a real short fuse.
Oh, I agree with him. So I'm sorry about that, Tom. I apologize. But we are talking about. He was talking about things that. Relics of the church past, and we're talking about some of these seem to be coming back.
Yeah.
And what he did is he put out on social media, what are some relics in your church that you no longer use that used to be important? And he got 20 of them back. And I'm not going to go over the list. We'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
We did the first 7 or 8 last episode.
Yep.
We're going to pick up. Here are some. These are guys who put these down and said these are things that used to be in our church and are no longer here. But Hallock and I suggest some of these are coming back.
That's right.
So number 8 was choirs. Man, every church had a choir. You know, when you and I go to declining churches, there's always a choir loft.
Oh, yeah.
Now, a lot of times they've ripped the choir loft out.
Yeah, that's true.
And they've gone to sort of worship team, and that has turned the church around. And it's no longer in decline.
I don't think so.
I'm kidding.
You know what we have?
the
We have a
magic
very large choir and a worship team.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, both. Well,
We've got
yeah.
both.
And in fact, we have an orchestra too. But you know, that's very different. And it's very much alive and well.
Yeah, but let's talk about
one of the
normative
few
sized
things.
churches.
Yeah.
Even normative churches of 100, 150,
Yeah.
75 always had a choir.
Choir.
You had a choir loft and you had a choir. Might have 7 or 8, 9 people, but you always had a choir. It was you had a choir.
And they probably had a special,
They
right?
had a special. And when you would look at the Sunday school board church architecture from the 1950s, 60s, 70s, and even 80s, because I built some churches in the 80s, they always had a choir loft because we had a choir.
Just
right?
how it was. Yeah.
Right. Well, in the 80s and 90s, they took the choir loft out and they went to a praise band, but the churches still declined. They didn't really change a lot for a lot of them. And so choirs went away. Now, here's the thing about a choir. It was a way for people to gather. As a way for people to get connected, as a way for people to be engaged in worship. We lost that in many ways. And also, people like to sing together. And so I think certainly you have to say choir is a relic, other than in some really large churches. But even in the large church like yours, and even the one that I'm transitional pastor sort of now, there's a huge choir loft. But they don't have a huge choir. It doesn't fill every seat in that choir loft. There are very few that, the big mega churches used to have 300 seats in the choir loft. They may have 100
Dude,
in the
here's
choir
another
now.
difference, I think, with the surge of kind of contemporary worship, is you may have a choir, but they're basically background singers. They're, you know what I mean? Like versus back in the day, you're learning parts. I mean, you've got alto, you've got your soprano, you're learning parts. And a lot lot don't know parts anymore.
You know, one of the things that I tell churches today is and when we talk about this very thing, is that, you know what, because it is a struggle to keep it going week after week after week, I said, go with an ensemble. You know, build an ensemble that does something maybe one time a month.
Something special,
that's focused on that.
I've got a real passion for this, because the other one on here is hymnals. So let's talk about choirs and hymnals at the same time.
Okay,
choirs, definitely. 1972, every church had a choir, every church had a hymnal. Today, that is not the case. Are they coming back? I know hymnals are coming back, because certainly the Gettys, the Sing hymnal, has become real popular. They printed a brand new hymnal. Others have too. Here's the deal with choirs and hymnals. Here's what we lost when we lost choirs and hymnals. we lost the ability for our people to sing as a congregation in parts. Mm-hmm. You mentioned a while ago that the choir would have parts. You'd have alto, tenor, and soprano, and bass.
That's right.
So as a child, and even as a teenager and a kid in church, I could hear the bass singers and the tenor singers sing the men's parts in those hymns. And I began to sing those parts with them. So even we were a relatively small congregation, our church was singing in harmony. Now, some of you are thinking, what the heck difference does it make, Clifton? Yeah. It does make a difference. Yeah. Yeah. If you've ever been at a church and you've heard people break into harmony, you go, whoa, that's a gift of God.
Yeah.
That's
beauty.
It's beauty. It means so much, and we've lost that.
Yeah. It's one of the reasons I love with Mennonite churches. They sing a lot like that.
So if you put a praise ensemble up there, nobody's singing harmony, and if you don't have a printed hymnal, nobody can even read the notes. Mm-hmm. Although not, a lot of people take choir or band in high school, and they can kind of read some notes.
But that's the end of it.
But if they have that note in front of them every Sunday, and we're just taking that away. So hopefully choirs will come back. We ought to do a whole podcast on that. You guys you worship leaders and song leaders, talk to us about, I think, the importance of a choir, because imagine children's choirs and then youth choirs and then adult choirs. It was more than just singing. It was connecting and it was participating, and we've lost all of that.
That's a great point.
And it's like, you might be able to sing in the choir, but I can't be in a 4-person
praise band. The other thing is, well, dude, I was going to say, it's a gifting of the church.
Yes.
Now, there's 2 or 3 singing slots.
Yeah.
Whereas before, if you gifted, you could have 30, 40
even
in a small church.
Yeah, I'll never forget, we had some people in my dad's choir who couldn't sing worth a lick, but it didn't matter. They liked to be up there. They were part of it. They were part of it. But it was like, now you've got to be really talented and gifted as a musician. But before, you just had to know how to, so we've lost that.
Yeah,
so choirs have gone away. Hopefully they're coming back. Hymnals went completely away.
I hope the hymnals don't come back with shaped notes, though.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the shaped notes?
The shaped notes.
My dad used to say, I can't sing it if it ain't a triangle.
I know. Shaped notes.
Triangle notes.
Shaped notes
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Don't?
Oh, look it up. Shaped notes are how you would learn to sing. Okay. A different shape had a different tune. The do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do, and the different shape, so you knew where to sing it. So you taught people to sing parts with shaped notes, but that's a whole other story.
That's a whole other deal.
But I think hymnals need to come back. This is really important for 2 reasons. First, I think we have video overload. Now, I said this in a meeting not long ago, and the pastor got real upset with me because he just invested a whole lot of money in his video screens. But I long to go to a church that has. Now, I realize if you're a huge church building, you got 1,000 people, you got to have video screens. But you've got 100 people.
Yeah.
I long to go to a church that has no video screens.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of looking at video everywhere I go. Everybody's got it in their hand. I was flying in last night. Everybody on the plane was looking at a video screen.
Yep.
Hey, let's go to church and don't look at a video screen.
Right.
Let's open up a book.
Yeah.
And let's look at a printed hymn, and let's be able to take that book home with us and use it in our own private family worship. We've
it's
lost
not just
that.
old guys like you, man. My daughter, who's 23, she's going to a church, no screens. No, it's that same desire. She's grown up with all this, and her church. It's exactly what you're saying. There's something that I think we desire and long for beyond this just constant saturation in screens.
Simplicity, isn't it?
The simplicity of it.
The digital, the visual, the digital, the
contemplative,
images, the contemporary. And you hold this book in your hand, and you can look at it. It'll say up there the date of the it was published, the date it was written, the birth and the death of the composer. 1682 to 1743. You go, I'm singing something that Christians have been singing for 400 years, right?
Yeah.
And I just think we've lost that.
Yeah.
I think hymnals are going to make a comeback. Hopefully choirs are going to make a comeback. Jill and I go every single year to the Sing Conference, SING, the Getty Sing Conference. Dude, it's full. You probably can't. It's in September. If you don't have your tickets now, you probably can't get in. 7,000 people are there.
Wow.
All right, that's all it'll hold. They have it at the
in Nashville.
Nashville, what's that place called?
Grand Ole Opry. Opryland.
Opryland Hotel. And 7,000 is the most, and it's packed. And it's just 3 or 4 days of nothing but how to lead congregational singing, the importance of singing in worship, all of that, the importance of doctrinal sound. You were there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's incredible.
Tell me about it.
Well, it's just incredible. Yeah. And it's not a bunch of old people.
No,
you know what I mean?
Young people.
It's a lot of young people. It's intergenerational.
Who desire to come back to real congregational singing and hymnals.
Singing,
So I think it's definitely coming back.
Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. The parlor.
The
What is the parlor? What is the church parlor?
When I went to Warnell, we had a parlor. It used to be every church had a parlor. They called it the parlor. It was a place where brides would get ready for their wedding, where you might have a reception for people. It was a place where you'd have small gatherings, intimate gatherings. You always had it. It was a reception room. You always had it. And in most cases, it was a very sacred cow because you'd have parlor furniture, some parlor pictures. You couldn't use it for anything else. That's gone.
Listen, we don't need to get more
gone.
time. That sucker's gone.
That's gone.
That's gone.
But
that's out of here.
It used to be
Just
around.
the thought of it's annoying me. Let's keep going.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go number 12 here. Let's see.
10. Number 10.
Weekly visitation in homes.
Every Thursday night when I was a teenager and a kid, we had visitation up at church. And you meet at 7 o'clock, and you'd have these prospect slips, these pink prospect slips. Most of them were like visitors who came in Sunday school or people who came and visited church that week. And they filled out a visitor slip. And then people would come on Thursday night and just would take one of those, and they would cold call these people on Thursday nights in their home. They would drive to their home, knock on their door and say, hey, I'm Mark, and I'm from Emmanuel Baptist Church, and you visited a couple of weeks ago. We'd just like to come in and visit with you a while. We have Thursday night visitation.
Dude, can I just say how much I love this idea? I love it. I love it. It'll never happen in our day. It'll never. Yeah. I love the idea, but as you're talking, I'm laughing because I'm like, dude, that was a completely different time. Yeah. But I love the idea. Yeah. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh!
I lived behind the church in the parsonage, right? And so Wednesday night we're going to talk about Wednesday night meals next. Wednesday night was a big deal. We had a big group on Wednesday night. We had choir. There we go. We had choir on Wednesday nights, right? It was choir rehearsal. We had youth groups. We had RAs and GAs, and we had prayer meeting on Wednesday night. So Wednesday night was a big night. Sunday night was a big night. Like I said, we had Sunday night church. So we'd have Sunday night church and Wednesday night church, and then I would be I'd be at my house, and I would look up at the parking lot, and there'd be 7 or 8 cars up there on every Thursday night. And I'm just going to name names: Cliff Lynch, Jerry Ruff, Jerry Sutty. These were men in their 30s, maybe 40s, had families. They were there every Thursday night, dude. They were there every Sunday night, every Wednesday night, every Thursday night. And every Thursday night, they would go visit. They'd go visit people in their home. I mean,
I love that.
We've lost that.
That is incredible.
I mean, that is incredible.
I mean, seriously.
And we've lost it. And, I know things at times have changed, and people don't want to be cold call anymore, and they're not home. But I'll never forget, even now, I think about those men who gave up those Thursday nights to go cold calling visitors.
Well, dude, think about, you do that now, and for every person who might be like, this is weird, you're going to have 9 who go, I've never felt so loved. Yeah. You came to my house.
You came to my house to see me.
Do you know what I mean? Just to see me. Yeah. And this is what attractional ministry has done.
Yes.
When the whole expectation is you come to us versus we go to you.
Yeah.
We've lost something.
I would be interested. Any of you still have Thursday night visitation? Does anybody have that anymore? It was very much part of our church culture.
I want to bring it back.
Thursday
I don't know if it's
football.
going to go well. That's right. Exactly. Yeah. Now you're competing with that.
Along with that was the Wednesday night fellowship meal. That came and went really quick. I mean, all at once, everybody was having Wednesday night fellowship meals, and then it went away.
Yeah, we have a church hostess. And we have a kitchen, and we did that up until last year. And the biggest reason was it was just the logistics of getting it done, every Wednesday. But it was a huge thing for
a while. It was a very big deal because people they didn't have to go home and make a meal. They could just come, after work. They could go home for a few minutes and then show up at church, and the meal was provided.
You got the food. And
the kids went to one place, the adults went to another. But the logistics of how many do we make? Have you called in your, some churches got real picky about it. Mm-hmm. You have to call in by Monday and register.
Yeah. Well, then people you'd have the menu. You print it in the bulletin.
Print the menu.
It was like a cafeteria
and
at school,
again, it's kind of like, the church only has so much bandwidth.
Exactly.
And if you use that bandwidth on logistics of a Wednesday night meal,
this is not the best.
It's not the best use of time.
That's a relic that's not returning.
No, that's not returning.
Okay, what's this? A casual approach to recruiting children's workers.
Yeah, this is a big deal because of the security issues.
Yeah, it used to be we would take anybody to help in the children's area.
Right.
Now, that doesn't happen anymore, and that's not coming back, hopefully.
Yeah.
But there used to be, we would even just say, hey, could you go back there and help? She needs some help. That's what I meant by that.
Yeah.
Hey,
okay.
Mary, they need some more help in the preschool. Could you run back there? That used to be so common.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's not happening anymore.
Different world now.
Hopefully,
we can't be doing
also, we had no check-in policy for kids. You know, mom would drop them off, and then dad would pick them up. You know, mom and dad were both in church together, right? Mom would drop them off. Now there were
no name tags.
No name tags.
Stuff.
And now the reality is, you've got to be aware you can't be unaware that sometimes there's a conflict between parents, birth parents and divorced parents and that kind of thing, and maybe one of the parents that does not have custody knows the kid's in church, and he shows up and takes him. I mean, you've got to be fully aware of that.
You do.
So the casualness with which we used to approach children's ministry is gone.
That's gone. That's why it's never coming back. What about program-driven philosophy of ministry?
Well, many churches determine their entire schedule by programs. In other words, so we did. January, we had January Bible study for a week, because that was something Southern Baptists put out.
Okay, hold on real quick. That's an important note, because he says resource by denomination.
Yeah,
so it was like a rhythm of...
There was a rhythm.
If you're Southern Baptist, here's what we do.
And they still do, actually. Believe it or not, there's still a winter Bible study. You can still find it. Lifeway puts it out every year. There's a week of Bible study for all ages, and you do it. And we did it in January, because supposedly January was sort of a downtime. So you had January Bible study, right? And then you had... Obviously, you had Annie Armstrong, and you do all the week of prayer for home missions. You used to do a whole week of prayer, a whole lot more than they do now, frankly, in many ways. Now we have prayer guides and things, but it used to be you would meet sometimes every night that week and pray for missionaries and that kind of thing. And then you would have Vacation Bible School, which was always usually 2 weeks. You'd also have a week of revival in the spring and a week of revival in the fall. You would also have we'd have Christmas in August, which was something that RAs and GAs and WMU put on. So every August, you'd have a Christmas in August. And usually we'd bring in a tree and decorate a tree. And the kids would all bring things that we're going to pack up and send to missionaries far off that they could give away to other kids at Christmas. So we had Christmas. Remember Christmas in August?
Well, I was on the mission field.
So you got it.
So we'd get barrels of tea bags. You know, I can't tell you how many. I mean, there was a time, I'm not making this up, we would get people to, the poor people in Honduras, they can use these used tea bags. Oh. And we would get boxes of used tea bags. And my mom and dad said, we'll throw them out in the plants. That would be good fertilizer. But that was a big deal. Or cards also. They would get Christmas cards. And all from the GAs. They would get, they'd send the cards. I'm praying for you. I don't expect an answer. Things like that.
So you had Christmas in August.
Okay, gotcha.
And then you'd come in and you would get back to, you'd have the fall where you'd have Sunday School Promotion Sunday, which was a big deal, where all the kids got moved up to the next level. And you'd do that. And you'd have a fall revival. And then at 1st of December, you'd have what was called M Night. Usually the first Monday night of December was mobilization night. And that's where you got all your leaders together and trained them on your whole schedule was planned by the denomination.
Okay, so here's the deal. This is probably, we don't have time to talk about this, but I think what we're hitting here is one of the reasons why so many churches have drifted from their denomination.
Absolutely.
Because the focus is no longer what we do as Southern Baptists. It's what we do as a local church.
Right.
So everybody creates their own rhythm.
Right.
But you can see where that was so powerful in forming an identity as being part of something bigger.
My father pastored 3 churches in his life. All of them doubled in size, and he was a very gifted pastor and gifted leader. But he told me late in his life, I could never pastor today. And I said, Dad, you could. People loved you. I mean, of course you could. You were a great preacher, a soul winner, a great counselor. He said, no, what I mean is, Mark, and this is what he told me, in 50 years of being a pastor, I never sat in my office 1 hour and wondered what I'm going to do. It was always laid out for me. I knew, we had Sunday school,
that's so true, isn't
church training Sunday night. We had RAs, GAs, Brotherhood, WMU. We had a church calendar. We just worked the programs.
Yep, that's right.
And they worked.
Yep.
And he said we had a hymnal. We didn't have to worry about what songs we're going to sing. We had a choir.
Yeah.
We just worked it.
Yeah.
We had visitation on Wednesday nights. We had revivals. He said, where do you even
gotta
start?
create it. Yeah.
You got to create it. Or you
Yeah.
got to go out there and find 100 different things and which
so
one
true.
fits me.
Yep.
And so there's something really true about that. I'll never forget him saying that.
Okay, couple more before we land the plane. Okay, here's one. Large pulpits,
Oh,
baby.
please come back.
Come on, pulpit.
Please come back.
We love pulpits.
Please come back.
Tell you, we've talked about this before. There's nothing worse than when you're going to speak somewhere. I'm sorry if I'm offending anybody, but I'm not, I guess. And they have a flat table,
what is that?
Like a coffee table.
They went to. I say you went to
table.
Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, there it is. That's what it is.
Took
That's
a
what it is.
bar
Yeah.
table. It's like we don't really want to. We're not really. This is just. It's just sort of a casual table because I don't know why you do that.
Dude, give me a pulpit, baby. Give me a pulpit. We're preaching the word.
You walk into a church, and we're going to get so much hate mail on this. But you know what? Bring it on.
Come on. We're fighting for the pulpits.
You walk visual. Okay, my daughter and kids went to an event at a new Missouri Synod Lutheran church near us. This is a beautiful church building. It's just gorgeous on the outside. And on the inside, the architecture draws you to why you're here. You walk in, you realize there's something special about this place. This is not normal. This is not what I see every day. This is not a coffee shop.
Yeah.
This is not a bookstore. This is a sacred, and it moves me to the architecture, everything. You walk into many of our churches and you say, what's the focus of the church? Well, most of the time, it's the drum cage. That's the biggest thing you see is the drum cage.
Yeah.
Or it's some instruments up there, or the Nord, the keyboard, and that's all you see. And you think, oh, well, you walk into another church and you see a large pulpit there, you go, okay, the center, I don't know what's going to happen here, but it has something to do with that piece of furniture up there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right?
That's so true.
Now, you can just push back on me all you want, and you can say, well, you can have a pulpit and not preach the gospel, or you can preach the gospel from a table. I understand all of that.
Sure.
But I'm thinking visually,
That's right.
it makes a statement. We used to call it the sacred desk. It meant something to stand behind that pulpit. It meant that what was said there was different than what was said anywhere else. Now I can hear you guys yelling at your machines and just say, "Oh, that's crazy." No, whatever. I'm an old man. I can say what I want. I think they're coming back.
Oh, yeah.
I know. You look at our seminaries.
Oh, yeah.
They all have nice big pulpits now.
Yep.
And some guys that realize that preaching matters and the pulpits matter.
Well, dude, and it's not about you. I mean, that's another thing. Like the church growth movement, get rid of the pulpits, want to be more relational. Listen, we are called to steward the word of God. This is a sacred and holy calling. There's something about when you get behind a pulpit, you kind of disappear. I mean, it's the same mindset where, I don't think he has this on here, but the preacher's robe, right, was to be so that I'm not a distraction. Right. It's not about how cool my clothes are or whatever, and the pulpit's the same thing. I think it's definitely coming back in some circles. Now, in some circles, you might be listening to this going, dude, you guys are like, that's old school.
Let me stimulate some more hate mail. Have you noticed that the pulpit went away with the suit and tie?
Oh, sure. All of it did.
See? It just became totally, let's relate, let's connect, let's get everything out of the way.
Yeah.
And we're realizing, just like you said, it's really not about us.
Yeah.
Well, we got to hurry. We're not going to get these done, but I do say that when I preach anymore, I generally preach in a suit and tie, and I generally ask for a pulpit. Now, sometimes all they got is a music stand, and I love this, or they have a plexiglass pulpit.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's here, but it's not really here.
You don't know it.
You see it, but you don't.
But you don't.
Yeah. How is he holding his robe?
Oh, I just, what?
A music stand, I'm with you, dude. I use, if it's only a table option, I go with a music stand.
Yeah.
But, dude, I can't grab a music stand.
No.
I
And
crush
I
a
can't
music
pound
stand.
on a music
No.
stand. I can't. I know.
Destroy
Okay.
it.
How about special music and the anthems?
Yeah, special music is gone, and I think that's pretty much okay because oftentimes it wasn't all that special.
If it's yeah, that's the thing. It was like a bad habit.
It was like a bad habit. Someone would say, the Lord gave me a special, and I'd say, I think he would like to have that one back. I think the problem with special music was it put the attention on the performer.
Yeah.
And we don't want that.
Yep.
And so this is not a performance time. This is not a time to say, oh, we can't wait for Ann to sing. She has such a beautiful voice. It's not about Ann. It's about the words we're singing.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
I think we've learned that it's not about that. So I think the special went away because we don't want to draw attention to one particular. Okay,
Yeah.
We're done. We got more on this list.
Yep.
Relics. Fortunately, Mark and Dan and I are not relics.
Well,
And this was just kind of fun. Don't worry
Yeah.
about it. But we would, email us or put it in the show. Get back to us. Let us know what you think about these things.
It's good stuff to at least think
Especially
about.
talking about
Yeah.
the pulpits, the hymnals, the choir, and the suiting up. What are those important, or are we just curmudgeon-y old men?
Yeah.
Which
Good
we
call.
are,
Good
by
call.
the way.
Good call.
I wish we had gotten to the King James Version thing.
Well, it's on there.
I know.
It's on there.
We
But
didn't talk about
but
that.
I will just say this. He's correct because it was on the list. Guys, put it on. There was a time, 20 years ago, where you basically had to preach some King James, even in Southern Baptist life.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that changed over the last number of years. I don't think that's the case for most Southern Baptists. They're not King James only anymore. So that's probably not coming back.
And I think as long as there's consistency, too, that has a lot to do with it. All right. Well, that wraps it up for today. Thank you so much for spending time. I hope this has been food for thought and not fodder for thought. That's made you think, well, what can we do in our church or what are we doing that is connecting and coming
Or
back?
what did we get rid of maybe we need to bring back?
Yeah.
Or what do we have we need to get rid of?
Yeah.
Both
Good
of
point.
those. Right.
Thanks to the North American Mission Board for making this happen. Did you just open
I just
up?
opened up here. This is my second Diet Coke. Do you hear that? I just want you to know that was a Diet Coke we opened up. I want you to know I signed the non-alcohol thing with NAM, and I've stuck with it.
Oh, I can vouch that it's another Diet
All
Coke.
right, there we go.
We're out of here.
Thanks for joining us today on Revitalize and Replant. This podcast is brought to you by the North American Mission Board, where we help dying or struggling churches regain health for the glory of God and the good of their communities. If you found this conversation helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast on your favorite platform. To learn more about becoming a replanting pastor or to explore resources about revitalization for your own church, visit churchreplanters.com.